Welcome back to Overbooked, where we try a new location for filming every week. Just trying to get it right. Today I am going to be talking about the books that I read for my book clubs in April, and I do know that it is May 14th, so this is a little overdue, but I just finished my last book for the book clubs like 2 days ago, so it's been a rough reading time, but I am getting less overbooked. The 3 books I'll be talking about today are Fight or Flight by Samantha Young, After I Do by Jenkins Reid, and The Night Tiger by Yangsze, Choo. My book club reads were disappointing, really disappointing, but 1/3 of it is my fault because I picked the book for one of my book clubs, so that was on me. Let's get started, shall we? So I'm gonna start with the worst book that I read last month for my book club, which was the Girly Book Club, which is an international book club. You can join online. They meet in all cities. They meet in a lot of cities around the world, and I highly suggest it if you are new to an area to meet up with some ladies. Even if you're not new to an area, I just think it's nice to get out, meet new people, and talk about books. Anyways, the book that we read for this one was Fight or Flight by Samantha Young, and it was trash. Little garbage. You could throw it away. That being said, this could be a 5-star book for somebody else. I just didn't like it at all. I don't even know what my other people in my book club thought because I didn't even go to the book club meeting for this book. I just really didn't care about it, and I really wanted to get my workout in. So, but I do wish I would have gone because I would have liked to hear other people's thoughts. But $20, I bet you that nobody else liked it. I think the thing that really threw me off, and I think maybe if I would have actually checked out the book and read it, I would have maybe been able to finish it. But I listened to it on Audible, and the person that was narrating the book was listening to somebody it was like listening to nails on a chalkboard. It was awful. And this lady attempted to do a male Scottish accent voice, and it was horrible. It was so hard to listen to. And this guy is one of the 2 main characters. So I had to listen to her do this voice for half the book, and I just was like, no, I can't. So the whole premise of this book is that these 2 people meet at an airport and are on the same flight to Boston. And they keep running into each other or causing mishaps for each other on this flight, and they just hate each other. Super, super hate. But they're very attracted to each other. So oh, I hate him. He blah 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 did this and this, but he's so hot, I can't even stand it. Just annoying shit like that. So they get to Boston, and they keep running into each other, so they decide to just be friends with benefits, but with not the friend part, and they just have lots of benefits. And then they but then they start having feelings for each other. Shocker. Not. And then what do they do about that? Who knows? Because I didn't care to figure it out. Again, I didn't finish this book. I would like to move on because I couldn't do it, you guys. This book was pretty awful. So the next book that I read was for the book club that I run and I picked the book for, which I'm trying to change. Everyone else is gonna pick their own book. But it was the book After I Do by Jenkins Reid. And I've been kind of exploring more Jenkins Reid books, especially after the whole Evelyn Hugo and then Daisy Jones and the Six phenomenon that just happened. So this is one of her earlier books, and I thought it would be kind of cool to read. So the whole thing what the book is about is that this couple has been together for about 9 years total, and they're really struggling in their relationship. They're just getting mad at each other for the smallest things, getting really annoyed with each other, and they're just not having a great relationship like they used to, not having fun, not really enjoying each other's company. So they decide to take a year off from each other, no contact, no calling, no seeing each other, just nothing. They're not, for a whole year, they can't contact each other or anything. And so you throughout the book see if this like is helping their relationship or worsens it. And it was really interesting to read. I thought this would be a good book to pick for this book club because all the girls in my club have been in serious relationships for a number of years. One of them's married, 2 of them are engaged, and the other 2 of us have been in serious relationships for, 5+ years. So just kind of cool to have this group of women that have the kind of relationship that's being discussed in this book, and then, compare relationships. Like, is this couple, I think their names is Lauren and Ryan, have some of the same issues that we see in our own relationships, and how do we tackle those issues? I thought this book brought up a lot of good points, a lot of good conversation starters, a lot of good theories. I think one of my favorite things about this book, and I don't even know if I mentioned it to my book club, but I was thinking about it when I was writing this outline for this video, was that this book really did display different ways you could have a relationship. Not in a hetero, homo, or, queer, bi kind of relationships, but it did talk about how the different types of relationships you could have. You could have a serious relationship, you could have a relationship with yourself, you're not looking for anybody, you're perfectly fine. You could have casual relationships, you could have relationships that start with kids and then morph into something else. You could have, flings, just romantic involvements, or you could just really be serious and settle down. It's just a whole range, which I thought was really kind of cool to see because you're so used to seeing this cookie cutter relationship. You meet, you date, you get married, and then that's it. And I think it was really cool to see other examples of different types of relationships that work and don't work, depending on your viewpoint. Even though all of those things I just said was super interesting to read about and discuss with my book club, the story just wasn't enough. The book just didn't reel me in. I found myself easily putting it down. The characters just weren't hooking me. I just wasn't drawn to it. I thought it was just, in the end, with all the stuff that you had laid out, the theories, different things happening, it was just a very predictable book. And I think that it would have been cool if Taylor Jenkins Reid would have explored the unpredictable outcome. And it would have been interesting to see how the book would have ended then. But it just didn't, and it kind of fell flat for me. So, I don't know. I think it's a good book to read, especially if you're somebody that's in a relationship for a long time. I mean, obviously, if you're not in a relationship, I think it's still good to read. But for me, I saw a lot of the things that I've had trouble with my relationship in that book. And I was like, what are the ways that I tried to combat it? And maybe I should try some of the things that was said in this book. So, I don't know. It's just kind of cool. I think it's a cool beach read. I think I would probably wait till summer to read it, which I feel is true for a lot of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. So, I don't know. I mean, 3.5 out of 5 stars, probably. Lastly, the book I read for Reese Witherspoon's book was The Night Tiger. And this book is set in 1930s Malaysia and centers around a lot of Chinese folklore and Confucian virtues and just a lot of things that go on in Chinese culture. It was really cool. It was about these mysterious deaths that are happening throughout these villages and these towns, and no one really knows what's going on. And a lot of people are suspicious that it's a tiger that's roaming around. And then you have these 5 characters who represent the five Confucian virtues. And they, throughout the book, are destined to meet each other. And the whole book, you kind of see their lives happening, and then they meet, and then their lives go back out from each other, and how their lives kind of impact these mysterious deaths or how they are related to them. And it was really cool to see those crossings and relating lives happening. I really enjoyed this book, but there's something that's stopping me from giving it a full 5 stars. There was a lot of things, not a lot of things. There was a couple of things, but I think they were big tipping points for me for not fully enjoying it. One was there is this whole forbidden love story in the book that I just don't really think is necessary. I felt there was a lot of wasted space in the book for this story. I don't want to give much away about it, but I'll just call it Forbidden Love. But I thought it was like unnecessary. I thought it was weird, and I thought it was kind of creepy. I found myself kind of going back and forth. Like, at one point I'd be like, oh yeah, this is weird, I don't want to read about this. And then at one point I'd be like, oh, I am rooting for them. 5 minutes later I'd be like, no, I'm not. It was just like a really weird concept for me, and I think that it just wasn't needed for the story. And then I also had like a lot of unanswered questions, like questions that I just thought were going to be answered, and like I thought I would figure it out by the end of the book, but when I closed the book, I was like, wait, what? I still don't know what's happening here. For example, a lot of the characters have dreams, and some of their dreams, like, they meet other characters, and I was like, oh, okay, but I never figured out why that was happening. And maybe, like, I missed something, and maybe I don't fully understand, so that could be on me. But that was something that I wish kind of been maybe more explored. Overall, I really liked this book, and compared to the other books that I read for my other book clubs, it was amazing. Because the other books weren't as great. Okay, so those were the books that I read for my book clubs this past month. I don't know how many more like book club videos I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna tie them into my monthly wrap-up videos. Also, it's really hard to get the books that Reese Witherspoon picks for her book club just because they get really popular, and the library that I have is kind of small, even with the interlibrary loans that it offers. So the hold lists and like wait time to get those books are sometimes pretty long. I think it took me like a month to get The Night Tiger. And I requested as soon as I find out what the book is for the month. And my other book club, my one with the family, we have a lot of weddings going on this month, or this summer. So we might not be meeting every month anymore. So it's just going to be like, whatever. I don't know if you guys really enjoy these book club wrap-ups, but maybe I'll just put them into my TBR video, or wrap-up videos, and just kind of mention that I read these for a book club. That's it for today. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please leave a comment below or like the video, and make sure to subscribe, of course, and I'll see you guys next week.